Huh? How come my show is so easily hacked? Anyway, hello everybody, FunReviews here, and you saw the title of the video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity. Now, before we get into the story, let's talk about my love for Code Lyoko. And, well, let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity. Code Lyoko is a French animated TV show produced by Moonspoon Studios. The show has a group of 5 kids entering a virtual world called Lyoko to fight an evil monster named Xana, who activates towers on Lyoko to attack the real world. And only a virtual girl named Aelita can deactivate the towers. So it's up to the characters Jeremy, Ard, Ulrich, and Yumi to help defend Aelita against all sorts of monsters like the crabs, mega tanks, tarantulas, and of course the Skipperzoa. And that's all there is to know about Code Lyoko. They should add in new stuff like the Digital Sea and, of course, the Skid into the show to try to freshen it up. And that's why Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity screws it up so much. So now, let's move on to the review. First of all, why is it called Quest for Infinity? I couldn't understand the DS title, Code Lyoko Fall of Xana, because Xana is the AI that fights the Lyoko warriors. But there is nothing in Season 4 of the show, which is what this game's based on, to do with infinity. Is it referring to the Digital Sea? Because the Digital Sea is not infinite. Is it referring to the code of Lyoko? That's not infinite. Or is it referring to how much this game infinitely sucks? Because if it is, congratulations! Congratulations, Game Factory. You just made a metaphor. So, the story, as I said, is based off Code Lyoko Season 4, with William, the Skid, the Digital Sea, which I'll talk about in a minute, and the replicas and all that sort of stuff. But, since Season 4 wasn't out at the time this game was released, they had nothing to work with except the costumes. So, they opted for an original story that botched the very idea of Code Lyoko. And frankly, kind of ruined Season 4 for me. I adored Season 4, except for Episode 95. But I absolutely adored Code Lyoko Season 4, with the introduction of the Colossus, new costumes, new sectors, replicas, the Digital Sea, which you've never seen before, the Skid, new monsters, and, of course, the ending of Lyoko, which for me was one of the most heart-wrenching things I've ever witnessed, and the death of an era. But this game takes that and flushes it down the toilet. But enough about the story, let's move on to the presentation, which is what I really want to get to. The actual game engine for Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity is okay. It matches Lyoko's style and feel, so you feel like you're on Lyoko. But everything else is terrible. First of all, the cutscenes don't match. So you'll have some sections in the actual in-game engine and others with the show animation. As if they couldn't afford to keep the voice actors long enough to have any more cutscenes. Or they didn't have the budget. Also, the voice acting is terrible. And also, William doesn't talk at all. At all. Not at all. Which is a bit bland, considering he's supposed to be a boss battle. But other than that, everything about the game's presentation is terrible. And also, Lyoko doesn't look like Lyoko. The desert, for some reason, is more varied than a desert should be. The ice sector looks absolutely nothing like the ice sector. The mountain sector, yeah, it looks okay, but doesn't look anything like the mountain sector. And Sector 5, oh my god, what have they done to it? It looks 3 times the size that it should be. There is no timer like there should be in Sector 5. And there's too many bumps. Too many bumps. I can understand those bumps being somewhere in the environment, but they are everywhere. All over the environment. And frankly, there are monsters in Sector 5 that shouldn't be in Sector 5, like Cankrolots. The only creatures that can live in Sector 5 are creepers, the Skipperzoa, and Manti, which, might I add, Manti aren't even in the game. But no other monsters are to go in Sector 5. None of these monsters need to go in Sector 5. The same as creepers can't leave Sector 5. But also, the forest sector looks kind of like it should. But the only thing that I actually found that matched any iconic locations from the show is a little crevice with a straight line down it in a circle, just like on the show with an iconic scene. But other than that, everything about the game doesn't match. So now, let's move on to, the gameplay. The gameplay for Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity is half decent on the PS2 and PSP. But on the Nintendo Wii, it is horrible. The motion controls hurt the game more than they do help it. It's impossible to control the nav skids in the Digital C. It's impossible to use odd or odd. Ulrich is useless because all of his physical attacks are completely useless. He has no long-range ones. And there's one character that you can just use throughout the whole game except for platforming and puzzle solving. Not to mention, none of the monsters that are iconic from Season 4 are in this game, like the Manti, the Skipperzoa, and oh my god, the Colossus. How cool would it be to have a Colossus boss battle? Like Shadow of the Colossus, where you jump around on the Colossus' arms, then have to stab his eye with Ulrich, whilst at the same time having Aelita or any of the other characters on his blade arm. Then, when Ulrich stabs this Colossus' eye, then one of them slices his other weak point, winning the battle. But you have to make sure you time it perfectly, otherwise the characters will be de-virtualized faster than you can say Lyoko. And that is why the final rating for Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity is a 2 out of 10. The 2 to show you can always do worse next time. But in all seriousness, when you think about it, this game had so much potential to be awesome, but it squandered everything that made Code Lyoko amazing. And I'll see you guys on the next Fun Reviews. Bye!